Welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be sharing with you some of my 2025 reading goals as well as my January TBR. I am just going to be selecting 6 books from 6 different categories that kind of fulfill some of my reading goals that I've got planned for this year. So in terms of number of books, in terms of my Goodreads number that I always set each year, this year I'm going to be setting it at 200 books. That's what I had in 2024 and I achieved it in 2024, and I really hope that I will be able to achieve the same in 2025. In previous years I have had higher reading goals, but as kind of, you know, life has changed, that number has got slightly less, but I think 200 hopefully is still something that I can achieve in 2025, but we will have to see. And as I say, I've got kind of some categories that are going to kind of help with my goals, which will fall into my TBR. So one of the areas I'm going to be selecting books from my TBR is from my Afterlight subscription. So I have been subscribed to Afterlight for probably about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years, and I have got quite a few books from there, but I haven't actually read many of them. So I really want to focus in 2025 on reading those books that I already have, and if they are ones that I don't end up liking, then I will be getting rid of them, because I don't want to be keeping books that I don't like. The area that I have is non-fiction. I really want to read more non-fiction in 2025. I have in previous years tried to read like one a month, and in 2024 I just didn't really reach for a non-fiction, despite obviously having quite a few on my TBR. So I do want to make an effort to be reading at least one a month in 2025. And then I have 2 categories that kind of are linked together. So Kindle and Audible. I am terrible for downloading free books from Kindle, or free books from Kindle, or audio books from Audible when there's like a good deal on. And I download them and then they sit in my library not being read. So I really want to be making a conscious effort in 2025 to decrease my library down and read some of the existing stuff I already have in there. So hopefully I can do that. If I'm looking down, it's because I'm reading from my notebook to make sure I don't miss any of the 6. Then for my next category is historical romance. I love historical romance. I've read quite a lot from the genre, but there is so much more that I could read, and I really want to make an effort in 2025 to be reading more historical romance. I know that there is a big conversation going on at the moment in the publishing world about historical romance. A lot of publishers are not publishing as many historical romance books. Some historical romance authors have been asked not to write historical romance and to write other subgenres because historical romance isn't selling as well as some of the other subgenres, which I think is a shame, because historical romance is, apart from like small town, like contemporary romance, that's one of the other genres that I really started out with when I was getting into romance. So it's a shame to see them not publishing as many. So I want to make an effort to read some of the ones that are already on my TBR, ones that I own, and ones that I just have a desire to read. And then just in general goal is to read more of the books that I physically own. I have a lot of books. I buy a lot of books. I don't always get to all of the books that I have bought, and I really want to make an effort to read some of the ones that I already have before buying more. I'm not putting myself on a book buying ban, because that would just be way too difficult. So I am just kind of setting that loose goal of reading what I already have. And so now I'm going to get into my TBR. I do have some kind of fun, interesting ways of picking the books that I'm going to read, so I am going to share that with you, and then I will show you the books that I am going to read. So for my Afterlight subscription books, I have them all written down in this box, and what I'm going to do each month is pick out one randomly from here and see what I get, and that'll be the book that I read. So it's going to be random, and yeah, we'll just pick one out now and see what we get. Oh, there's two come out here. So this is the one that I've got. It is Cross the Line by Simone Soltani. So I'm just going to go and grab that book, and then I will show you the cover. For this TBR video, I'm not going to be going into much about the plot because I don't know a lot of the plots for the books I'm picking, and that's how I prefer to go into the majority of my books. So if you're looking for the plot, come back at the end of the month because I will do an update on all of these books that I've read. So this is the book. It is Cross the Line by Simone Soltani, and from the cover I think it's an F1 romance, which I'm excited for. I'm glad that I've picked this one because there are some of the Afterlight books that I'm like less interested in, but this is one that I is on my TBR and is one that I do want to read. So I'm really looking forward to picking up this one, and I will just show you the pretty sprayed edged and naked hardcover because the Afterlight books are really pretty, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I have kept the subscription, and also because I don't want to cancel it and then like next month there's like a book that I really want to. It really kind of sucks you in, but the book editions are really pretty. So these are the sprayed edges, and this is the naked hardcover design. It's really pretty, and I hope I enjoy this because it is one that I want to ideally keep because it's so pretty. But that's that one, first one. Next we'll move on to non-fiction. So for non-fiction, I am just going to be picking whatever non-fiction book I want to read. There's no kind of rules surrounding it. It just has to be one that I am interested in reading. And for this one, I have picked this one, which is Talking as Fast as I Can by Lauren Graham. Lauren Graham, for those who don't know, is the one of the main actresses in the Gilmore Girls TV show, which is one of my favourite shows. I have watched it so many times, and I am intrigued to read more about her and her life. I do have the audiobook for this one, so that is probably how I'm going to consume this book. I do prefer to listen to non-fiction, particularly celebrity memoirs, because 9 times out of 10 they narrate their own audiobook, which is my preferred method, so I will probably be listening to it. I do also have Kelly Bishop's autobiography as well, which she is another star from the Gilmore Girls show, and I will probably be listening to that at some point in 2025, but that's my non-fiction pick. Next, I will be selecting my Kindle, Audible and historical romance book, and to do that, the way I'm going to do it each month is I'm going to do a spinner wheel, and it's going to be for letters, and so whatever letter the spinner wheel lands on, I'm going to either read a book with the first word starting with that letter, the first word of the title starting with that letter, or the author's surname starting with that letter, depending on what letter I get. So I will insert a clip here of the spinner wheel that I've done for this month, but you will see that I got the letter U, and U is not one that I had any author's surnames that came to mind, so I've gone with title for U. So for my Kindle book, I'm going to be I'm going to be reading Unconditional by QB Tyler. I have heard a lot of great things about this author. I've not read anything from them previously, and this is one that I've got on my Kindle. I assume it was probably a free one that I downloaded at some point. And that is what I'm going to be reading for my Kindle read. Then for my audiobook, I'm going to be listening to Under the Roof by Ali Hazelwood. This here is a bind-up of 3 of her novellas that she's written. Under the One Roof is one of them. I have mixed feelings about Ali Hazelwood's books, so I'm not sure how I'm going to get on with her novellas. I have not given any of her books 5 stars. Some of them have been 4 stars, but there have been a few that have been 2 stars reads for me. So I go into this very hesitantly because I'm not sure whether I'm going to enjoy it or not. But I still keep picking up her books because I know she is really popular. and I really do want to find one that I love. So maybe I'll like the novella, but we'll have to wait and see. And then for historical romance, I've picked up Unladylike Rules of Attraction by Amita Murray. This is the second book in a series, and I gave the first book, I think, 3 stars, but I liked it enough that I wanted to check out the second book. So I'm really hoping that I do enjoy this one. And as I say, I'll be giving my updates at the end of the month on how I got on with these books. And then lastly, I'm going to be doing a free choice. So with my free choice books, it has to be a book that I already physically own. That is the only rule, so to speak, but it's got to be something that I already own, and it can be from any genre, any subgenre of romance, but one that I already own. And for this one, I've gone with Twisted Lies by Anna Huang. This is the only book by this author that I have not read. I've read all of her other stuff. All of her other books have been either 4 or 5 stars. I think there might have been one that was 3-star, but the majority of them have been 4 or 5 stars. I really love her writing, and she is one of my favourite authors, and I'm eagerly awaiting her 2025 releases. But this is the only one that I've not read. I don't know why I've not read it, because, as I say, I love her books. I think maybe it's because I don't want to have nothing to read from her, because now once I read this, I'll be up to date and I'll just be waiting for her new releases. But I will read this month and get this series wrapped up. Again, I do have it's quite a long book, so I do have the audiobook for this one as well. So I might listen to the audiobook. I'm not 100% sure, but I do also have a physical copy. So we'll see how we end up, whether we end up physically reading it or listening to the audiobook. But I'm really excited to get to this one. I know this is a lot of people's favourite book in the series, so I'm hoping I will enjoy it too. And those are the 6 books that I am picking for my TBR for January. I will probably read more than these books, or I hope to read more than these books, but these are the ones I've picked for my TBR, and hopefully I'll be able to stick to it because it's a smaller number. I feel like if I selected, my entire month's worth of reading, I might not be able to stick to that, but I feel like 6 books is a lot more manageable. So I will see you all in my next video. If you have any suggestions of what you want to see in terms of videos, then please do let me know, and I will be sure to make those. As I say, I will be doing an update at the end of the month, wrapping up these books, and I will do a wrap up of the other books that I read in the month as well. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please subscribe to my channel. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you. Bye.